Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failure, and this is going to be my last Blast Off Sim video for a while. I've enjoyed exploring the brand new Dimension 3 update, but I think I've said everything I have to say. In this video, I've started a brand new game yet again, and I'm going to scroll down and grab the 250 hidden gems here. And I am going to give you my new strat for how to play this game well. And I'll define what well means in just a few moments. But I'm grabbing a pad here, and I'm going to type in a message asking for a ride up to the top island. If you can hitchhike up to the top island in any of the 3 dimensions, then you can totally avoid the fuel grind. Any fuel grind. Like literally, you don't have to collect a single unit of fuel if you can hitchhike a ride up anywhere. So I am now in Dimension 3, and I'll type in another message asking for a ride up to the top island. I'm not going to show you me hitchhiking in this video, but anyway, this is something you can try to do if you want to totally avoid a fuel grind of any kind. But this video is all about, like I said, me showing you what I think it looks like to play this game well, meaning to like minimize the fuel grind and maximize the amount of time spent playing the fun mini games up above in each of the now 3 dimensions. And so I'm just going to show you super duper quick cut highlights of my strategy here. And so here we go, starting the one and only fuel grind. It took me about 40 minutes to do this fuel grind in real time. And like I said, I'm just going to cut and show you the highlights. So first thing you do, gather 100 units of fuel in here in Dimension 2 is where we're going to spend like all of our time in this video. Dump it in, add all of it to the rocket, and then we're going to do a launch with 100 fuel. And once we do that launch, we'll get some cash, and we'll just head right over to the fuel scoop shop and spend the cash. And the basic idea with all of these launches is we're launching with just enough fuel to buy the next piece of equipment. So there I just spent the money from the first launch on a new backpack and scooper, and there I just bought a new rocket from my second 100 launch. And now we're launching with 700, and you buy the backpack, and you launch with another 700, and you buy the scooper, and you launch with another 700, and we'll buy the next rocket. Oh, where'd that guy come from? Nice job. That was clutch. And here we're going to launch with 2,000 fuel and use the cash generated to buy the backpack, and another 2,000 fuel launch and use this cash to buy the scooper, and another 2,000 fuel launch to use, and we'll use this cash to buy the rocket. And all the time in between, like while all these launches are happening, I am just grinding fuel manually. I'm just not showing it to you. 5,000 fuel this time gets us enough cash to buy the cutest backpack in the game. Another 5,000 fuel launch gets us the cutest scooper in the game. Oh, we are just too cute right now. And a final 5,000 fuel launch gets you the $15,000 rocket, which is going to be the last rocket that we buy at any point, during this kind of grind. And then I put 33,000 fuel in, and I'm going to hop on a very slow rocket. Here we are at the top, and kind of in fast forward, showing you now the highlights. On each island, we're going to grab the life orb and also grab the gem chest after completing the mini game. Here we go on the obby, gem chest, and life orb. And don't forget to reactivate your double jump there on the UFO island, life orb, gem chest. There is a hidden secret in the next island, so I'm going to show that to you first. If you follow this path, you talk to the cave bug, he will give you 250 free gems. Awesome. All these other gems that we're collecting here, we're going to be able to collect after every rank up repeatedly because the gem chests all reset. But that one 250 gem gift from the cave bug there is only available once in the entire playthrough, once per save file. Same thing is true of the 250 gems I got in the very beginning of this video by clicking an Easter egg at the bottom of a scoreboard. Okay, next island. Grab the life orb, complete the mini game, and grab the gems. Take a moment to enjoy the look of my favorite island, but only a moment because we're aggressively cutting everything here. In the maze, fake wall to get the orb, get the gems. Here's the last of 7 life orbs on top of the zenith. Go inside and talk to the zenith, and they will give you a surprisingly generous gem gift. Pretty cool. We board our rocket, which is conveniently sitting just above Rank Up Island. We hop down, And because we have the requisite cash, which is $100,000 for this very first rank up, we are eligible to rank up, and we do that. And I encourage you strongly to put all 3 of your rank up points towards rocket speed every single time you rank up. Okay, then we make the best purchase in the entire game. It is this bot here in Dimension 2. And Dimension 1 and Dimension 3 also have like a best bot, but those best bots are not near as good as this best bot. This best bot is about 3 or 4 times as powerful in terms of how much fuel it drops off at every drop off as the bots in Dimension 1 and 3. That bot right there is why I played this game. Okay, so we're going to do something very similar to the first round of launches, except we're not collecting any fuel by hand. So you do a 100 fuel launch and you buy the next rocket, and you do a 700 fuel launch and you buy the next rocket, and you do a 2,000 fuel launch and you buy the next rocket, and you do a 5,000 fuel launch and you buy the next rocket. Notice that I didn't buy any fuel scoops. I didn't buy any backpacks because we don't need them. I'm literally not collecting any more fuel by hand at any point in the rest of the playthrough in any dimension, because that one bot that we just bought here for 1,500 gems is that powerful. I'm showing you this part here like to just highlight the fact that I do nothing during the launches. I'm not doing anything. That launch was to get us enough cash to buy this rocket, but I just wanted to show you that I'm literally doing nothing while the launches are happening. I'm not grinding for fuel anymore. Okay, so now we have our 15,000 rocket, and that's spiffy. And then we do a launch for cash. We need about 50,000 cash before we do our official launch to rank up island. 30,000 fuel is enough in this rocket with our points, rank up points that went towards rocket speed. And we hop on this one, and by the time we get to the top, we will have over the 150,000 that we needed. Again, we had to do like an extra launch in this case. Like launching to rank up island in this rocket gets you about 100 grand every time, but we need 150 in order to do this next rank up. So that's why I did that extra launch, just to generate another 50 grand in cash. In regular speed, we are going to completely skip the obby. We're going to get the gems and we're going to get the orb, but we're not going to actually have to do the obby because we're going to land perfectly on the platform that the chest is on. And so if you walk up right where I walked off that island above us, and you angle yourself roughly 180 degrees to the right, not all the way 180 degrees to the right, jump to slow down, and if you practice a little bit, you can totally skip the obby and just grab the chest and the orb, and don't forget to hop on the orange thing to unlock your double jump. And then we go to rank 2. As usual, I recommend all rank up points towards rocket speed. So for the next rank, I'm going to show you very little, but you grind up to the 15K rocket as usual. Then you launch with about 25,000 fuel. That's just to get you cash. And then you're going to launch again with another 25,000 fuel. And the second 25,000 fuel will get you more cash, but also will get you up to rank up island. So that's the one that you ride. And then just, collecting all the gems, all the life orbs, all the usual stuff on your way back down. But we're not yet at the rinse and repeat part of my strategy here. Things are about to change in a good way once we can get ourselves up to the magic number of 3,000 gems. Strongly encourage you not to spend gems on anything else other than what I'm recommending here. At some point, you'll have the freedom, of course, to spend your gems however you darn like, but stick with me here and don't spend them until I tell you to. So I didn't show you anything there, but we collect all the gems and life orbs up to 2,900 gems, and then we rank up. Now, like I said, there is a purchase that I desperately want to make that is 3,000 gems, and we are 100 gems short. So we're going to do something a little unusual. We're going to launch with 500 in this puny little rocket, not for cash, but actually for height, just a tiny bit of height. So we're going to fast forward through. I just wanted to get up to the island with the maze because that's the lowest island that has a gem chest in it. And it turns out 500 fuel with all of our rocket speed upgrades is enough to get us there. And so we'll go through here and we'll grab the life orb just because it's convenient. But really this trip is about getting these 100 gems. So we grab the 100 gems. That brings us to 3,000, which is just a glorious number of gems to have in this game, because 3,000 gems is exactly the cost of the gem rocket in the gem shop here in Dimension 2. And having that gem rocket is huge. So let's see how the strategy changes once we get this gem rocket. Make sure you don't buy the UFO, which is also 3,000 gems. The UFO is cool, and it's something that I'd recommend splurging on maybe later in your playthrough when you have gems to just kind of like throw away. But we are hardcore being efficient here, and the gem rocket is the thing. So here's a launch with 10,000 fuel, and you can see how much cash it generated. My goodness, gang, it gets cash so much quicker for so much less fuel than the 15K rocket we've been using this whole time. So I did a 10,000 fuel launch. Now we're doing like a 17,000 fuel launch. That'll be enough to get us up to the rank up island, and also to get us enough cash in total to do our next rank up. And so we go down, and I won't show you any of the mini games and gem collecting, but you just do all the usual stuff. You don't have to do the maze one this go around because you've already done it since the last rank. And now we are about to rank up again. We got 1,200 gems to our name, all good stuff. And so what I'm about to show you here, oh, and then you go into the gem shop and you equip, don't buy the UFO, but you equip your already purchased gem rocket. And so what this means is that you don't have to do any more of the launches for cash to get better and better rockets. You just equip the gem rocket and you're good to go right after every rank up. You don't have to get the, you don't have to buy the 100 cash rocket, or the 1,500 cash rocket, or the 5,000 cash rocket, or the 15,000 cash rocket. You just equip your gem rocket. Okay, so that's one improvement, is that you don't have to do the grind for rockets anymore. You just equip this one immediately after ranking up. Another improvement, like I said, is that the gem rocket gets you cash so much faster in terms of cash per fuel that you put into it. And the gem rocket also moves a lot faster, which means that the trip up to Rank Up Island won't take near as long as it's been. And plus it's got cannons you can shoot, which is pretty darn awesome. Okay, so I'm going to show you the entirety of this particular rank up, this rank cycle where I collect all the gems and all the life orbs and everything. Nothing is new here, but I'm showing it to you in double speed, but I'm showing you the whole thing because I want you to see how quick it is to do an entire gem collecting cycle and life orb collecting cycle and cash grinding in order to afford ranking up and actually do the ranking up, how quick it is now, because we've got all these rocket speed points, and we've got the best bot here in Dimension 2, and we've got the gem rocket. So this is, again, in its entirety. I'm showing it to you in double speed. In real time, it took me 9 minutes from the time I did my previous rank up, and then to the time that I get to the rank up at the end of this gem cycle here, 9 minutes in real time. And so it'll take about 4.5 minutes here in this video. Okay, that's how quick it is. So what do you do next? Because this will be the last cycle that I show you in this video. So what do you do next? Well, anything you want. Like you can just keep playing this game where you just keep doing gem cycles and ranking up here in Dimension 2. I think it's the quickest dimension to do a cycle of gems and to rank up. But you're welcome if at some point you get bored here in Dimension 2 because you're doing so many of these rank up cycles. You're welcome to head over to Dimension 1 at any point, or Dimension 3 at any point. Probably you're not going to be wanting to do a ton of manual fuel grinding in either of those dimensions, and so you don't actually have to, as long as you have enough money for one or more bots over in Dimension 1 or Dimension 3. So the best bot in Dimension 1 costs 1,600 gems. I don't quite have that yet, so if I were playing this game for real, I would continue to, grind through the gems here. I would finish this rank up cycle. Then I would have I'd have more than 1,600 gems, and then I could go and buy the best bot in Dimension 1 and just play around in Dimension 1 and not have to collect any fuel. I mentioned the best bot in Dimension 2 is far superior to the best bot in each of the other dimensions, but the best bot in the other dimensions will, gradually collect fuel for you. You can just AFK while it collects fuel. Then you can just buy rockets and upgrade to the better rockets, and you don't ever have to upgrade, your fuel scooper in Dimension 1 or 3, or your, backpack in Dimension 1 or 3. You can just let the bot do its thing, and then just you just sit there and do launches and get cash and get better rockets, and eventually get yourself up to the top in order to do all of the mini games in Dimension 1 and Dimension 3. I still recommend doing all of your ranks in Dimension 2, even if you take a break from that to go play around in Dimension 1 and or Dimension 3. Every cycle that you do in Dimension 1, where you collect all the gems and then rank up, nets you 1,100 gems. Every cycle you do in Dimension 2 or Dimension 3, where you gather all the gems and then rank up, gives you 1,300 gems. So Dimension 2 and 3 tied at 1,300 gems compared to just 1,100 gems in Dimension 1. But I think that doing all the mini games, doing the entire cycle of gem collecting is much, much quicker here in Dimension 2 than it is in Dimension 1 or Dimension 3. In terms of things you can do with your gems as you go through this whole cycle, well, you can spend them on the best bot in Dimension 1 or Dimension 3, or maybe you want to buy 3 of the best bots in Dimension 1, so that'd be 4,800 gems it would set you back, but eventually you'll have them if you just keep ranking up and doing this gem cycle here in Dimension 2. Remember, every time you do the cycle in Dimension 2, you add 1,300 gems to your total. There are also some other cool gem purchases you might consider. In Dimension 1, you could get like the gem backpack for 5,000 gems. That's a pricey item, but cool to have. Same thing, there's a gem fuel scooper in Dimension 1 for 2,000 gems. You could buy the gem fuel scooper here in Dimension 2 if you wanted to. You could buy the gem backpack here in Dimension 2. You could buy the UFO. That's pretty cool for 3,000 gems here in Dimension 2. It's not all that practical, but it's fun. And then if you're going to splurge on something, I'd actually encourage you to consider splurging on the gem backpack in Dimension 3, because it also functions as a jetpack, which is really neat to be able to just sort of fly around, not just on the island with all of the fuel and the rockets on it, but on any of the minigame islands up above too. So 5,000 gems for the backpack / jetpack in Dimension 3, which is pretty neat. I'll point out that I made a written walkthrough for this game, including all of the strategies I've detailed in this video with all of the fuel numbers and the purchase recommendations. That's posted over on GameFAQs.com, and I've included a link to my walkthrough in the video description below. Okay, so there you have it, my recommendations for the strategy. It really hasn't changed much with the addition of Dimension 3. I still think Dimension 2 is the best dimension in terms of going through the ranks, getting all the gems, and not having to grind for fuel, other than that 140-minute fuel grind I did earlier, which again, you can totally bypass if you're able to hitch a ride up to the top island in any dimension. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.